Hey, what's going on, weavers? Tim here again, and in today's video we are making the Aries Paracord Bracelet done knot and loop style. This is another in the Zodiac series from Cetus 550, so I hope you will all enjoy this one and try it out for yourself. That being said, let's get into it. In terms of materials, my two shorter acid brown strands will be the core strands, and my two main colors are International Orange and Rust, whereas the orange is the main color and the rust is the secondary color. I've got my two acid brown strands as well as the rust strand in one hand and the International Orange in the other. I'm going to start this one off as we normally do for our knot and loop multi-strand core bracelets. With the midpoint of the International Orange, like so, I'm going to do a cow's hitch over the other three strands, have the two terminal ends coming out the top of that loop. And then next, we're going to separate the two terminal strands up top. Right side strand goes to the right, left side goes to the left. With the right side strand, I'm going to pass it through that cow's hitch in the middle, going from the right to the left, like so. And then of course, I'm going to do the same on the other side with the left side strand going through the middle. And pull all that excess cord through. And this is of course going to form our top loop. And from here, you're just going to firm up that knot and get everything sitting like so. So to get set up on my jig, I've got the top loop hitched to the nail up top, and down at the bottom, working with my two sets of acid brown strands, I'm going to tie two cobra knots with the two outer brown strands. That's just going to secure everything down to the very bottom, and I will of course undo these later. This is just to get everything set up on my jig. So now we can start weaving our bracelet. Working with the rust strand first on the right side, I'm going to put it through the middle of the core strands, and as well as the same on the other side, just going from the front to the back, forming these two crooks on both sides. Now working with the orange strand on the right side, I'm going to pass it through the third and fourth core strand from the back to the front, like so. I'm going to do the same on the other side. And notice these are coming in above the two rust strands, just right above those two crooks, and almost like forming another set of crooks behind. And then from there, working with the orange strand on the right side, I'm going to go to the back of the bracelet and come through to the front, going through that third and fourth core strand, like so, and I'm staying right behind the rust strand, like so. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Go through the first and second core strands from the back, come out to the front, and notice the orange strand kind of sits right at the corner there. And also notice that this orange strand is looping behind the rust strand. So if you look at the bottom corners of that weave, you can see they're right behind the rust. And from there, you're just going to cinch up this first knot. And this one, nothing too special in particular. Just cinch up your cords nice and evenly. And yeah, go back and forth to get all the slack out. So that's our first knot. And let's do it one more time just for clarity. Always find the second knot a bit more clear. So again, starting with the rust strand on the right side, put that through the core, rust strand on the other side through the core from the front to the back, make that set of crooks there. Then with the orange strand on the right side, I'm going to go in through the third and fourth core strand from the back to the front, staying above those rust strands. Same thing on the other side, going through the first and second core strands, staying above the rust as well. And those are going to cross over, as you can see, of course, in the middle. And then from there, working with the orange on the right side, it's going to go behind the rust, as you can see there, come through the third and fourth core strands, and then out to the side. So make sure you don't go through that rust crook on the right side. And then same thing on the other side. Bring that orange strand to the back behind the rust and have it come through the first and second core strands. as such. And see again, that little move there, I just stayed behind the rust strand. So that is our second knot. And again, cinch up the knots nice and evenly. Always make sure you have the same amount of tension on each knot so you don't get that sort of wavy pattern. And you're going to weave this pattern all the way down your 4-strand core until you've reached your desired length. So after you've woven the desired length, I'm going to the back of my bracelet, and this is how we're going to secure our cords. So with the orange strand on the one side there, I'm going to tuck it behind the rust strand on the back. I think that'll be a nice way to keep that one secure and keep the melted end on the back. And of course I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Orange strand on that sort of left side goes tucked underneath the rust strand on the left side. And pull that through. And from here we can clip off the excess cords. Just going to clip off my rust strand as usual, melt it with the jet lighter, and then just quickly touch it with my knotter's tool. And I don't mind the melted ends of the rust strands on the sides here. Can't really see them anyway. So do that for both rust strands, take off the excess, and of course clip off the excess orange. And also I'm going to do the same for my orange strands. Be careful when you're melting these orange ones because they are very close to the body of the bracelet. Sometimes what I like to do is just put a little bend in the bracelet to keep that frayed strand away from the body of the bracelet, and it just makes it a little bit easier to melt without burning anything else around the bracelet. And from there, all I have left are the 2 acid brown strands. So with the 2 outer acid brown strands, I'm going to tie a single cobra knot like so. And I'm going to do the clean finish so we don't have a melted end of the cobra knot on the front. I'm going to turn the bracelet around, and on the back side, I will loosen that cobra knot I tied. And with the strand, in this case on the left side, it's going to tuck underneath that one loop at the very back so that both terminal ends are coming out the back of the bracelet. And that way we have a nice clean finish. And of course, like the other strands before, just clip off the excess cords, melt them with my lighter, and press down on them with the knotter's tool. And to finish this one off, I'm just going to tie a simple diamond knot at the very end for my knot and loop clasp. If you want to see the dedicated tutorial for that, link for that video will be in the description box down below. And once I've got my knot adjusted to the right spot, I'm just going to clip off the excess cords as usual, of course. And there we have it, guys. There is our Aries Paracord Bracelet done knot and loop style. We are coming down to the end almost of the Zodiac series. I think I only have one more maybe at this point, but we're getting through them, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, a huge thank you to all my Patreon supporters for making videos like this possible. If you want access to the exclusive tutorial videos as well as our Discord server, feel free to check out my Patreon page, link in the video as well as down below. It's a great way to support this channel. I thank you for even considering. And also another great way you can support this channel is simply by liking and commenting on the video. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on that bell notification if you haven't already. If you enjoyed what I did in this video, feel free to check out what I have to offer on the rest of my channel.